So this episode, the hunt is on for a new car. You know, I sold my truck about a month and a half ago, and I've been hitchhiking ever since, and I'm out looking for a new project. But not just a project, I need something that's running and driving that I can, actually use right now, because I'm still, as you can see, working on that gem, my 36 Ford. Now my plan is simple. I'm gonna find a car that I like, I'm gonna fly out there, I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna drive it home and have the time of my life. This is something I've wanted to do my whole life. I've yet to do it. I usually have things shipped because time constraints, etc. So this time, buy and fly is the way to go. So as long as my bucket list is, I've had almost every car I've wanted to own, but for this project, well, I'm looking for something that runs and drives, but I'm looking for particularly a 38 Ford. I'm looking to do sort of like a real heavy, Westergaard style custom, something like this one here with a heavy chop and skirts and laid out. So I was digging around and I found a 39 Ford Coupe standard, so that means it has the 38 front end. I found that one, which is in pretty good shape. Already has all the suspension done, already has the motor and trans, 350, all that good stuff. No interior, which I don't need. Otherwise, rust-free. Happens to be in Tucson, Arizona. Which for me is a really good thing because my cousin Daniel just happens to live in Tucson. So I called him up, and it turns out the guy's right around the corner from his tattoo shop. So he went over there, FaceTimed me, looked at the car, gave it the once over. So everything looks good there. Daniel's a barber and owns a tiki-themed tattoo and barber shop in Old Town Tucson called The Lagoon. Definitely someplace you got to check out if you're in the Tucson area. But hoping to fly out there, grab the car, go hang out with him, and then drive back home. It's only 16 hours. So I called up RJ and invited him for the road trip. He's of course down, because if there's anything hot rod related that may ultimately end up getting you killed, he's always in. RJ puts on this race once a year called the Kraken Back, where it's a 24-hour race where you buy a cheap $500 car, fix it up, put costumes on, and race the Grand Canyon and back. So he's down for a good time all the time. So looking at flights and hotels, whatnot, about halfway, so it's about 8 hours, is a town called Van Horn, way out in West Texas. They have this super cool hotel called El Capitan. So I'm going to hopefully book a room there so we can, have a little gentleman's evening before we head on the rest of the way home. So I went ahead and sent a deposit out to the guy so I can plan on getting out there. However, that whole deal fell apart because apparently there's some issue with the bank and so on and so on. Worked on that for a couple of days and finally just gave up. So that one is done. So the hunt is on again. But in the meantime, we're gonna work on that thing. Alrighty, so starting the back panel here, put the bottom lip on here just so I got something to weld to against the floor there, which actually I got to trim that off, so ignore that. Then I traced out for my trans tunnel, so I'm just going to flange this so I got something to work with, and then we're going to try stuffing this thing in the bead roller. I'm sure it'll work. That one work. And let's see if I can actually find something. That'll do the job. Alrighty. So what I did is I traced my inner line. Well, I traced the line. Well, I traced the line several times, so just ignore those. But I traced the line that was the actual size of the trans tunnel. Then I came in about 1.5 centimeters, so then I can flange this up. So I just need to finish that. Then this lip will give me something to weld to over there in the trans tunnel, and I'll be hunky-dory. Well, that's in theory anyways. So, well, you know, sitting here in the garage, I do realize how nice the view is. I mean, they have a nice view of the park over there, so I guess this ain't all bad after all. Of course, Audrey's crappy Mazda is in the way, but whatever. Can't have perfection. It's nice and humid today too, which is fantastic. This is a door skin hammer, so it's got nice reach. So that worked out just perfect. So a couple of easy passes in the English wheel to put a little structure in here. We're ready to start kind of fitting this thing up loosely anyhow. It rained for 6 minutes and turned the weather into hot soup. So it's making a little moist out here today. But you know, one thing with this house as opposed to the old house is there's no mosquitoes here. I used to just eat alive in the other shop because, you know, the grass was all around it. So far, other than the continuous, you know, random people walking by, it's actually not too bad of a spot. Temporary. I actually found a shop around the corner I'm going to look into renting, so that may or may not work. I don't know what I'm doing, really. Yeah, whatever. Let's get to work. Enough with my problems. Well, that ain't looking too bad. It's beginning of a little bit of something. So, I'll score everything and trim it. At least so I can get some of the bulk out of the way. Back over there. And then I'm going to make the corner patches down here. So I think I'll do that before I try to stuff any of this through the bead roller. Because I need to match that body line there, so it'll come along that door and then wrap up around the frame that go all the way around. So it should look like it's factory. And then once I get that done, I gotta figure out how to flush fit the doors. Because this being a Phaeton, the door would have actually went overlapped here. because the other door would have lapped up next to it, so I gotta figure that out. So still have to clean all this metal too. So the company that makes the laser cleaning machine offered me one, but they apparently backed out. So I was really looking forward to that. So now I got to come up with plan B, which would probably be sandblasting, or I'll just buy one of the laser cleaners too. But I mean, they're mucho dinero, so I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I was watching Brent on Half-Ass use his, and I gotta admit, I'm just a little bit jealous. So we'll see what happens. So I got one of these little mini air conditioner jobbies. Since I can't really air condition the space, Laura actually had found one of these, so kind of got the little exhaust vent under the door. I'm hoping this will at least make it a little more drier on this side. I mean, it really can't make it any worse. The noise is a problem, but at least I'm not sweltering in my own juices. Alright, so now it's just a matter of filling the blanks. So just my little piece here. I think I'll work on this, which obviously doesn't need to be that tall, so maybe make it here. And or maybe up there, that way I don't want the bead rolling near the weld, but there we go. Easy peasy. Alrighty, loosely assembled here, so time to think about some things. So, I mean, I need to roll the body line in here, that much I know, and then I'll have to add to the top of this depending on what I do over here. But I need to put some bracing in here like you would in a normal pick 'em up truck. So, kind of thinking about building like a corner brace, kind of ties off of here and loops around and to here, maybe about yay big, that I can attach to the back there, then have it go all the way across like a normal truck would. Same thing with down in the corners there, but I gotta pull the wood out of here, so I'm trying to visualize a little bit here. Now I've got these pieces that I'd cut off the other car that I'd saved, which, let me go to the other side, because naturally I grabbed the wrong one. So it would attach somewhere in that ballpark, which would actually probably save me a little bit of grief, but because I have this cut out here, which is where the top would have attached. Now, I gotta put some thought into that, because ultimately I need the top to be able to attach to it. Well, I take that back. I don't need the top to attach to it because it's going to be a Carson style top that's going to look like a regular top, but I don't want it to actually attach to it because when it folds down it just looks ugly, you know. Remember the old Volkswagen Rabbit days with that big old thing in the back? Nobody wants that. So I need it to look correct and have a nice spot to mount the top, and if the top comes off, it has to look good in that spot. So the question is do I roll it like this all the way around, or make it more square so I have a nice spot the top to land? The top will cover this whole area here, so it doesn't really have to be anything, but it's got to make sense. So I mean, if I decide to roll it, then the whole thing I guess has to roll around. But then how do I attach the top onto here? Or do I flatten it out so the top has a place to set and just roll the round into it? I am not sure. Trying to visualize in my head how I want it to look, you know, it's not as easy as it sounds. Because you have to kind of plan several steps in advance of where you're actually at. And you don't want it to look like it doesn't belong there. You want it to look like Henry Ford designed it. So in the back here as well, my body line is going to roll over around that corner, and then as soon as it turns the corner there, it's going to have a slight arch in it. Just so it's not like totally straight with the bed. Like if you look at any, you know, actual pickup truck, then you'll see that the body line always has an arch in it. It serves no purpose other than aesthetics, but we're going to have to make sure we match it so we don't look like we're oddball, you know. And I definitely don't want the top of it to look like just a old hunk of exhaust tubing rolled on there, which, trust me, I've thought about, but it's not going to look right. And due to the fact that I don't have any real references to look at, it's making it a little bit tough. Yeah, because I mean, you have like 29 roads for pickups, for instance, but they're just all square, so that doesn't look right. Then I think they had a 32 roads per pickup. I have to look in that, and I don't really recall what that looks like, but I think that was designed to look like this, so you could attach the top to it. Attach the top to it, which is not something we want to do. So, what to do. But ultimately, we just need some awesomeness. But the pieces are starting to accumulate into something. I got the bed moved back right now, so it's a little out of proportion, so don't get too excited. I also went and bought the metal for the bed, so I just need to make a little field trip run up to RJ so I can use his brake. So that'll be in the short future here. I mean, it's now mid-July, so I'm hoping maybe by September have the sheet metal for the most part dialed in. I mean, if I could stay on that path, I mean, in reality, then I'll have upholstery and then just button up some things. I could be driving this thing by end of October, November. I want to have it in Los Angeles in January, so trying to push in that direction, stay relatively focused, which is not real easy when I got other projects in my mind that I want to work on, and you know how that goes. It's a sickness. Should have just did heroin. It'd be so much easier. But I did also, while I was digging through, I did purchase myself a new steering column from Yogi's, and it was an I Did It one of those. Actually, I'll just show it to you. This is actually pretty nice. I dug around and I was trying to find a stock 41, and I couldn't find one that was of any use, but I found this from Yogi's, and it's made by I Did It. It's just a standard hot rod steering column. Got a bearing on each end, 1 3/4 inch diameter, with a nice, what do you want to call it, steering wheel adapter. Then I have the nice 40 Ford steering wheel that goes on there. So I think that's going to look period correct, so that's going to be nice. So yeah, this is actually is quite nice. It was only like 150 bucks too. But I looked for original 40 steering columns, and what they wanted was unrealistic for what you were getting. So yeah, no. So I still got to find a blinker switch. Now I know that Limeworks makes a really nice one, and that's actually where I got my steering wheel from. So I don't know, I haven't really decided on that one, because they actually have really nice stuff here at Limeworks. They make some really rad steering wheels. Hang on. See, they got that one there, which I've used before on cars, and looks super rad, works perfectly, but it doesn't exactly look, I would say, ultra period. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. They also have this Art Deco one, which I do like better, but again, doesn't exactly look right. Now, of course, Ford would not have had a blinker switch in 1936. I don't think blinkers came later, so it's not all that important, although I would like to have them. So, because it's much better than the, one of these things. So, but, and that was just for the Australians, by the way. So, yeah, let's move on. Also, stupid camera stand. Sometimes I swear that camera stand's my only friend. It's the only one I can rely on anyway, but I still have vast dreams of using my 39 Merc dash, or 40 dash, I'm not sure what it is, but I did buy all the stuff to make all those gauges work, so I'm going to clean those up and use that. So once I get into the cowl, I will start fitting that thing, because despite the way it looks, it's actually not that rusty, but it just needs to be buttoned up here. Still haven't figured out whether I want to do wood or not. But since currently my bandsaw is, an hour and a half away, it'd probably be metal. So, but a brother can dream. So we've almost got a cab here. So let's keep pressing on. Oh, and hello, gorgeous. We're gonna go driving today, baby doll. Oh, currently out here at the shop, which is the largest disaster currently ever known to man. Looking for my TIG welding torch, which I, for life me, cannot find. I don't know where it went. I don't know where I put it. I know I put it in a box. I don't know where that box is at. Can't find it at the other house. Can't find it at this house. It's like MF. Things I do to myself. But I got piles of crap all everywhere. It hurts me to be here. Hurts me to be here. And I know it went in a box. I just, for the life of me, don't know where that box is at. And of course, I had people helping me. I had movers helping me, so I don't know where that box went. But I can't live without it. Alright, so next step is to go ahead and put that body line in the bottom there. You can see the door here. I got this body line there, so I just need to match it. I'm measuring that. I'm going to roll it at about 4 centimeters. So measure up, it'll come around there, I'll end it here. Then I'll roll it along here, and then I'll make a separate piece that ties it all together here. I still have to do the final fitment to figure out the width here, because my wooden buck is just a tad too wide here. So work on some of them baby steps, and hopefully get that thing really attached here shortly is what I'm hoping on. Yeah, I know, it's baby steps. Just like babies, they're painful. So I'm digging through my bead roller arsenal. Just got these little guys here that I'm going to use. So hopefully I can get that whole panel through there without no troubles. Four centimeters. The most accurate measuring stick here, which is my finger. I'll just trace that one. That will work. So, a bead roller is a roll along this side of the bead, or the line anyhow. It's important when you're laying things up, particularly with a Sharpie, that you take into account the thickness of the Sharpie, otherwise it'll screw you. do this in maybe 3 passes. All right, that wasn't bad, 4 passes. All right, so I'll clean this all up once I finish welding, but you get the idea. So I think now I need to work on getting the back out of there and doing the back, which that'll be loads of fun. That's a pretty big panel. That's where this little tiny English wheel comes into play, because it fits in places the big one won't. So I'm trying to smooth out the beads here. This is ideal. Oh, looks like that piece of metal in my hand. Oh, that was painful. Just go and clean up the edge here. We'll move on to the next. You know, and I gotta admit, my little tiny English wheel here, I think I paid $125 for it on Amazon. It's definitely one of those use it once in a long while things, but it is super handy when you need it. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat. This thing's super beefy. And again, I can't express enough about building a workbench similar where you can install your tools, because it's super handy. I mean, I've got an English wheel here, I got my big anvil there, got my little square jobby over there, and I got that little corner over there I can use it on. So, I mean, it is awesome for doing any kind of fabrication or whatever. I mean, it really is super handy. I really can't stress that enough. But anyways, enough of my babbling. But got that corner done, or at least you know, roughed in enough. So let's see if we can't figure out how to get the back end through the bead roller here. It'll take me a minute to set that up here. I mean, luckily with my workbench here, it's adjustable, so I can adjust the height of the table for my bead roller to make that big old panel slide through that guy much better on top of that guy. Super genius. ugly bastard. Slide on this rubber is not going to be so easy. Right. So in order to get through my bead roller, I have to trim that bottom lip a little bit so it'll fit. So not a big deal. We'll get that first. Get this trimmed out. Be good to go. You know, I would like to say thanks to all of you for watching this mindless garbage. And every time I get burned out and want to quit and think, what the hell am I doing with this nonsense? You know, I get messages from people and gifts from people and things that say they actually enjoy this, which I gotta assume they got mental damage, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. It actually does give me a little boost here to keep on going. It's not exactly as easy as it sounds. It's a lot of work. And thank you. All right, that's enough sappy stuff. Put the plastic on there so the metal slides. Doesn't get stuck on the rubber. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, 4 centimeters. Mark that off. No, I'm not putting too much hope into getting around this from the bead roller, although I might be able to. I'm going to try it. I mean, I might be able to wiggle it through, so it'd be great if I can. I'm going to go ahead and mark it anyway, and we'll see how it works out. Might be a waste of time. Close enough. That'll work. Turn this down just a bit, probably doing 3 passes. The fact that my bead roller is homemade, she's not exactly as nimble as she could be. Spins a little fast. Possibly time for an upgrade. bead roller's moving. This is getting hung up. That sort of food bar beat sort of screwed me up over here a little bit. All right, pass number one, not so bad. We'll make some corrections. Well, that ain't half bad. Well, that spot's still sketchy. We're gonna ignore that one. I'll just hit that with the hammer and dolly. A little cleanup, not a big deal. So now, I'm just about ready to take the wood bucking out. I don't know. I still got to do the little corner here where this ties in, because this will land somewhere about here. So I gotta make the little whoop-de-woo. So that'll be next. All right. So now, gotta make that gap. So here's my cardboard pattern. I'll put it on there correctly. It's gonna work better. It gives me a starting point. I know I need to flange the bottom. Work that around there. I went ahead and cut the corners here. I know they're going to curve, so clean up my patterns just a little bit. I know I need flange. I've got to leave enough material anyhow. Just scoop that down, scoop that through. 4 centimeters above here, 4 above there, roughly over here. So put that there. So I just need a bead roll. That. I'm going to clean up the corner a bit. You know, make it a little easier on myself. But this will work, in theory. Almost made it upside down. Just go like that. Bead has to go this way. Flatten this guy out. Let's try it. Just need to flange the bottom of that down. Final fitting, and then I can start to weld it up. But that's gonna be next time because it's getting late. So the hunt is on for a car. So we'll see what shows up next episode. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like really.